We know that we all are souls having this human experience. We are all here to create and dissolve karma so that we can ultimately merge with the highest consciousness. Then comes the question, why do we take birth? Well, the cycle of birth is little complicated. Let's try to understand this on a basic level. In this infinite consciousness, when there was a desire, the desire for creation, that gave birth to Prakriti. And everything that was created within Prakriti was created through Kam and Earth. In Vedic astrology, there are 4 major principal goals of human life. We have Kama, which is desire, Arth, which is wealth, Dharma, which is duty, and Moksha, which is liberation. These are represented by the 4 trikons in the birth chart of an individual, which is the Kam trikon, the Arth trikon, Dharma trikon, and Moksha trikon. We will talk in detail about these trikons and their importance in some other video, but in this video we are primarily focusing on how these purusharths play an important role in birth, rebirth, and liberation. Now, the Maya or the illusory world is primarily constructed from Kam and Earth. Kam refers to the intrinsic desires, the drive for creation. Don't confuse it with lust. Kam is any desire, because to create anything you need to first have a desire, an intention to create. Like the desire to create art, the desire to create a new invention, the desire to create a baby. Everything that exists was first a desire. And then we have Earth, that represents the means through which these desires are realized or materialized in the material world. So everything that exists within Prakriti inherently possesses Kam and Earth. There is no one who existed on this earth who didn't have Kama Trikon in their horoscope, except the enlightened few like Adi Shankaracharya or the avatars like Buddha or Jesus or Krishna. So everyone has Kam within this Jiva body, but its intensity varies from person to person based on their level of consciousness. And then we have Dharma and Moksha, that is attained over time or with every new incarnation as the level of consciousness increases, because it isn't intrinsically part of this Maya. That is why for the old souls or the more evolved souls, when the veil of Maya begins to thin with their heightened awareness or with their heightened consciousness, then in their horoscope you can easily see that Dharma and Moksha trikons overpower the other 2 trikons, that is the Kam and Earth trikon. So if we try to connect all this and try to understand it on a very basic fundamental level, then this means that as long as there are desires, creation will keep happening, and that is why we are created. That is why we take birth as Jiva. This is the basic underlying principle explaining why we take birth. Now the question comes, if we die, then what happens to our desires? We have already discussed in detail the concepts of Jiva, Jivatma, Atman and Brahman in previous video. If you haven't watched it, then I would recommend you watching it first for better understanding. So here a Jivatma is formed when the Atman interacts with Prakriti. And when this Jivatma incarnates as a Jiva, that is the individual being or the ego self, which identifies itself being separate from the infinite consciousness or the Atman or the Brahman, whatever you may call it. So this Jiva is created in this world, which comprises of a physical body and a subtle body. And the Jiva, because it's created with desire, it has Kam in the basic unit of its own creation. And these desires manifest as samskaras, which are the impressions on the subconscious mind, and the vasanas, which are the latent tendencies which basically design the outlook or the perception of this illusory reality within the subtle body, which makes the Jiva perform karma. And this complex of samskar and vasana and karma gets carried over with every new incarnation. Therefore, as long as the Jiva harbors these desires, the samskar and vasanas compel it to take on new bodies to perform new karma, to fulfill those desires. perpetuating the cycle of birth and rebirth. And that is why it is believed in Hindu traditions that individuals who die with unfulfilled desires are reborn to satisfy those desires. However, once the soul reaches a state of consciousness where no samskars or vasanas remain, and it realizes that its pure essence is not Prakriti but pure consciousness. At this point, the causal body, which is responsible for the formation of the subtle and the physical body, ceases to exist. At this stage, the Jivatma dissolves back into the infinite consciousness. Now, what do we mean by this? This means when the Jivatma attains this state of pure awareness, which is devoid of samskars and vasanas, it no longer has any desires, and therefore it no longer creates new karma. This is when the Jivatma merges back into infinite consciousness, achieving moksha, which is the ultimate liberation, the final release from the cycle of birth and rebirth. This marks the culmination of the Jivatma's journey, where it recognizes its true nature as pure consciousness, free from the cycle of karma. The soul is now free from all the illusions of the Maya because it is finally free from all the desires. And that is when it rejoins the infinite consciousness, experiencing the eternal peace and bliss, which is Anand. Therefore, the journey of the soul emphasizes the interplay between desire and creation, karma and liberation. It is driven by desires, shaped by karma, and guided by the quest for spiritual realization. It teaches that the material world is a playground for the soul's evolution, and by gradually shedding our attachments and desires with this material world, we move closer to realizing our true nature, our true essence, which is this pure infinite consciousness. I hope you liked the insights that I shared in this video. If you have any comments, do comment down below, and we'll meet again in the next video.